Alright, greetings everybody and welcome to another video where today we're going to be taking a look at the global news that happened because while JP has a live stream at the end of the week, and yes, I will not stop talking about that as a, advertising thing for the channel and whatnot, as well as the game, because it feels like Wotv is kind of in a slump right now. And you know what? Final Fantasy people do have things to look forward to. That's fine, but I'm gonna, hype stuff up. So anyway, JP players are currently suffering through Arena and trying to get enough medals to get Water Bear, as well as just getting ready for our Porcelain Tower this week, and kind of just shifting through until Friday when we find out what next major thing is coming to JP, as well as the train wreck that is the guild for improvements, question mark. So anyway, talking about today, there was a Wotv live stream, and the Wotv live stream had this. I had been hearing about this from viewers. Basically, there was going to be a new Joom, and wouldn't you know it, I was lied to. So anyway, the Year of the Dragon, it makes actually a ton of sense that this character would be getting an upgrade. So Fire Elemental, Blessed Dragon of the New Dawn, Oberon the Auspicious. Oberon trades in his spear for a brand new blade, getting a kind of, from what I understand, these are seasonal units for global, and I'm curious as to whether or not this will make its way to JP or not. JP hasn't had anything announced for whether or not this character will be coming, and if I saw correctly, he's a 100 cost. Or it didn't particularly say, I don't think so. That's a little bit. So skimming ahead, I'm just going to give a little bit of previews as well as kind of just my general thoughts. So first off, Oberon the Auspicious. Okay, he is a 100 cost elemental fire, which JP has been talking recently, or should I say my guildmates have been talking recently. Now there just hasn't been a fire character for a good amount of time, which could lead me to believe that this character will actually show up on JP, potentially, because since the two versions are supposed to be effectively merged, and this is a brand new character, this seems like the perfect one to antlize. Also just a great thematic character for this year, what with it being the Year of the Dragon, obviously. But main job, Blade of the Dawn, sub-job, Dragoon, and Paladin. I guess you had to keep a little bit of the Oberon flair in there. You can't get rid of his spear abilities completely. Can't take the Dragoon out of the Auspicious Dragon, I guess. But anyway, Paladin is a pretty damn durable job, and Dragoon has some, at the very least, decent buffs. So, but with that being said, I think that both Dragoon and Paladin are a little bit on the old side. Paladin gets a little bit more of a uptick for me. But yeah, so taking a look, we can see a little bit of a preview as Limit Burst and what looks like a support skill. Limit Burst, a giant diamond AoE, which is cool, but it's also very, very short range by the looks of it. And a buff is always curious to see whether or not this will follow the trend of 4th tier characters, where ever since, new version of Helena, we see these characters with wall of text abilities, where it casts one thing and casts it many, 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 many other things, which is always generally pretty nice. So let's see, I think I skipped ahead a little bit. So they're previewing his Limit Burst. It's very cool, but I wish they had animated some dragons on those as opposed to strands. And I am curious about precisely how much damage this would do against real characters. I just want to actually take a peek at something else there, which was... got it. It's only like a fraction of a second. Yeah, he's quite low level. Only 1000 HP, which I wish they would have even pumped him up further and put him against, another team to see what kind of damage he was doing more in earnest. But yeah, I mean, as a JP player, you look at what Fire is currently doing, and Fire is almost entirely on Soul and Shells or Evasion, and very little in between. And unfortunately, looks like that barrier ability, no text showed up, which they might have, mentioned it a little bit more, but I would like to have heard some. Oh, here we go. Blessing from the Heavens, Dragonic Presence, and Blessed Dragon's Edge, which has a secondary ability, which is also kind of cool. So that is more indicative of a 4th year character. Nice to think that the design of a character like this is, in fact, following that. It does give me really good hope that this will show up on JP and quite be, fairly up to date for characters. So let's take a look what else we got. So this VC, first of all, beautiful artwork. Shout outs to the art team as always. This one looks great. And speaking of which, great swords, katanas, bows, and staffs with Devout in there. Attack up, critical rate up, magic attack resistance up, with dual only area attack resistance up. Bestowed effect is agility up. Limited bestowed effect for specific characters. Let's see, area attack resistance and slash attack resistance up. Max HP up and slash attack up for duels only. Looks like a really, 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 really nice card. I mean, so it does appear that, he has barrier style abilities, which would be really cool with A2. You look at also with the new katana users on of Dario on JP, and it seems quite interesting. As for Fire, with just if we were to just look at this as an elemental VC with great swords, of course Rain would be a consideration. This one is very much feeling a lot of physical and anti-magic, which, Staff and Devout, definitely there's synergy there. Bow is probably the least exciting thing. And unfortunately, it's not exactly an evasion type VC, so it's totally fine that it can pass up on that. Yeah, I would be quite interested in this on JP as well for maybe the weird combinations it could, but I'm really interested in great swords and katanas. Yeah, but yeah. So that's pretty dang interesting, at least from a JP player perspective. We don't have Resnick the Hoppy, we don't have More the Merrier, so both of those characters are not out for us, which I wonder if they would just bring all 3 units out on some kind of limited manner. Purple Dragon Talon, katana slash attack up, accuracy up slash attack, magic resistance up. Makes me just think that he's going to be very anti-mage character, which is quite popular with the way JP has gotten with Wind with Dario. That might even be a really interesting combination into the future, since Dario is particularly so strong, and Dario would be a neat combination with the fire element, since there are some multi-elemental VCs that also support this. And potentially just some other great swords. Yeah, you could throw maybe Hayu in there as well. So there's quite a bit of interest that I have in this, and that VC also works very well. Lunar enhancements, just scan through the rest of this. I'm not particularly curious about the enhancements unless I hear that they are just crazy. Looks like some free summons and whatnot, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, I have come here basically to get a preview of a new version of Oberon, who is a handsome devil by all standards. I don't know what it is, but he's just absolutely insanely handsome. You may be wondering, why don't you have him at 140? Just an earth elemental thing that I have that's constantly a problem. But now he's fire element. So as a JP player, I'd be really, really interested in seeing him over here. And I think he is also quite an interesting get for what JP has currently going on right now. I would really be interested in putting him in a party with Dario and seeing whether or not that would take him to even higher heights than he currently already is with Wind Spear. But yeah, I will look forward to seeing more details when his kit is out, and who knows? This feels like there aren't too many global exclusives in the future. So I kind of want to take a closer look at the unit enhancements, upgrades, and new stuff this week, just to see where it could be as a potential JP thing in the future. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you later.